Moving on, we actually have a question on the idea of scarcity. Does the idea of financial freedom create scarcity?
Yeah. In some senses, you see, right now we all are running around paranoid. We are running around scared. Nothing is enough. We have no faith in humanity. We have lost faith in humanity. We don't trust our neighbors, and we always worried our wives will run away with the milkman. So we are living on the edge. And they did this to sell you some kind of bank loan or some kind of savings or some kind of insurance or something. They just created paranoia in all of us. We have each other. We forgot that, Our greatest investment is the friendship we make, the people we are with. But we are running scared. So the only God we have is money. We rely on money. And the more we rely on money, we don't have relationships in this life. Like the question, is the scarcity has made us, again?
Does the idea of financial freedom create scarcity?
No, it's the misunderstanding of the word freedom. The misunderstanding of the word freedom means to celebrate my laziness, my mood, my ego is what has created the nonsense. We misunderstand freedom. Freedom is, I have the right to live out my responsibility. The freedom is, I have the right to die serving my love. Freedom is, I have the right to choose to celebrate this life. But we sometimes misplace our idea. That is how the whole thing went wrong. Absolutely everything went wrong. I tell you this. The day the world starts relying on each other, we form trust bond. We start having faith in the land we live in. We start having faith in the government we select, that they will do right by us. We have trust in humanity again. We would always make money our God. Most people live in a land, spill their blood on it, still are uncertain of it. It is strange. But this is the work we need to do in order to make this world whole again. Loyalty has to be established. That is why I created the mythrian.com. Mythrian.com is an old idea revived in which we become a community again. We start leaning on each other. Creators coming together to co-create. We build each other's reputation. We build we build on each other's ability. So the mythrian.com is an effort to recreate a community, a society in which we will not be abused.
We have a question from the live audience here. Question is, how do we distinguish between the truth of I am enough / I have enough and it being used as an excuse to be lazy? Can I rephrase this? I am enough / I have enough versus using it as an excuse to be lazy. How do we distinguish the two?
You see, this question can only become real if love hasn't happened. So the only way to cure it is love must happen to you. As long as love has not happened, this question can never be answered absolutely. When you love, this question will cease to exist. You always will feel you want to do more. Whatever you do will not be enough. You cannot do enough for your child. You cannot do enough for your wife. You cannot do enough for the people you love. So it's a question about love as it happened. To me, money equals to my capacity to celebrate my love. So it's a question about love.
This is probably repeating itself. Is financial mastery the same thing as financial freedom?
Okay. Financial freedom can be looked upon it this way. When I have enough money to fulfill all my basic responsibility, now I can move forth to play a bigger role beyond myself. You see, first is I need to look after myself. I have enough money to look after myself, my family, my children. Now, I have the freedom. The Hindus say the freedom beyond personal karma. You have done what you need to do for yourself, now you can go do something for the others. It's like this. When I started meditating long time ago, I didn't have the money to meditate, so to say. So one of the first thing I had to do is look for money in which I can spend great deal of time to meditate. And I found somehow to survive. For that, I lived very minimally. And why I could afford to do that? In some sense, I freed myself of financial burden. When you live broke, you are quite freed of financial burden. Still, financial freedom. And what did I do that for? So I can do something bigger than just for myself, which is what the whole pursuit was. Another sense, all my students who come to meditate with me, I insist they become first responsible. First, they must come to some degree of financial freedom. Only then they can come and do something more, which is the world of self-realization, enlightenment and all that. So you must understand, financial mastery is a must. First, one must learn to look after oneself. And for this, I am suggesting in this entire discussion, your view upon taking care of yourself has to be absolutely right. You must take great pride in your dignity to be self-sovereign. Then financial mastery would be understood.
The reason why we ask the question is because financial freedom these days has given a perception of a certain reality.
Right.
And people go out to live out that reality. And more so, they actually go and chase that reality. What's your take on that, sir?
No, it's just chasing illusion. It's just being silly and stupid. There's no such thing. Financial freedom is you don't have to worry about paying your house rent or whatever that is. That's all. You still have a life to live out. And the only way to live a life out is to look for another responsibility. So there is no way of escaping it. It's just that people will sell you any idea to sell you something. That's it. They will sell you all kinds of ideas, and once you buy it, you perpetuate the disease that is already chronic right now.